We fought one for honest, we run, we win. This is your friend James. Legislative cowardice. We're continuing this. Passing laws fail. We're still in the bracket of legislative cowardice. And the next one is they'll pass abortion laws because they're afraid of disgracing their family because of adultery or fornication or having to spend extra money on a kid they don't want. Well, in the legislative cowardice, you can think of other times when people are acting on fear. They pass a law based off fear. Now we'll talk about abortion here. The law, what is the source, the root of abortion? The root of abortion is really just sexual immorality. It's called fornication and adultery. That's the real problem. Abortion's just the leaves. It's just the fruit on the tree of sexual immorality. You know, if people were not having sex outside of marriage, if little kids weren't fornicating amongst each other, if people at the office aren't having, I don't want to say affairs because that's not, that waters down adultery, committing adultery when they're married, and now the woman's pregnant, so the boy wants to have sex with everything that moves, but he doesn't want anyone to get pregnant. So the real root is that you control and teach abstinence. That stops it. Otherwise, you're just playing around. That's like throwing gasoline on a fire, saying now you can do anything you want to. You're not gonna reap any problems for it. But this is why the people are afraid. The main reason is they're afraid of getting caught because they know they're fornicating or committing adultery, and they're afraid of dealing with the consequences of a child. I mean, come on, you could get fired in some companies right now. You could lose your family. You could, if you're a kid, you could lose your whole high school career because you fornicated, had a kid, and now you're, in poverty for the rest of your life because now you have to take care of this kid. People are afraid of that. They don't want to deal with it. So what do? They legalize killing babies so that they don't have to deal with it. They legalize, we'll say the word abortion, but abortion's not, come on. Abortion is like when a computer program is loading up and you shut it down. Well, babies aren't computer programs. Babies are living individuals. That's like, if that were true, then the people who were killing sharks back then and the unborn calves were dying, we couldn't even pass a law and say that's evil because you didn't really kill it. But anyways, it's based off fear of destroying their life, financial stuff, disgracing their family. There are people who actually do it. I'm going to have the baby anyway. Who cares what happens to my family? Well, that's pride, business. That's just pride. That's another problem anyway. Some self-willed, prideful person. But when someone is passing a law so they can hide that, they want to hide it. There are times in history when people said people couldn't do certain things, and then you found, graves of babies and stuff. Why? They talk about in other countries because the girls, they're scared. They can't provide for the baby. And since they're afraid of a baby, they just pass laws so that they can fornicate. There are people who want you to be able to fornicate so they can fornicate. They legalize it so they can do it. But it's like they're afraid. That's the root behind passing abortion laws, is because you are afraid of the consequences of what happens when a man and a woman get together. If a boy and a girl get together and they do what people do to make babies, they have babies. And when you are afraid of getting caught, come up with an abortion, right? You're afraid of having the responsibility of taking care of a child, an eternal being, a spirit being that's going to end up in heaven or hell. Hey, have an abortion. That's what it is. And they call it abortion because they don't want to call it murder. But people, they do that for, so we say some people are afraid of disgracing their family. So you make it legal so that now they can fornicate on Friday, and then when they find out they're pregnant, they can do that and just keep on having fun, doing whatever they're doing in life. But the reason that they're doing it and they pass the laws because they're afraid this baby will disrupt their life. Obviously, it will disrupt their life because you just brought another living being into another planet. Or, of course, they don't want to spend extra monies. They don't want to ruin their kids' lives. So let's have an abortion. They don't want to do this. But instead of teaching, abstinence and sexual purity, they're dealing with the wisdom. So we'll just legalize the end result so that we can deal with it. The same thing with, drinking. Let's legalize. The Bible technically says you can drink, but anyways, let's legalize drunkenness and parties and revelings and all this stuff we don't want to do because, we don't want to go to jail. I don't want that on my record. So we can, think about this. I don't want, but that's a totally different, but let's focus. That's why people pass laws on abortion. It's legislative cowardice because instead of confronting the issue, sexual immorality is wrong. Sex outside of marriage is wrong. Instead of confronting that issue, you should abstain, little boy. Instead of teaching the little boy and little girl to abstain and control sexual desires, they teach them to do stuff that, just play around and explore and have fun. And if you make a mistake, if you accidentally have sex with somebody, but see, that's legislative cowardice. We wouldn't even be dealing with this problem if you removed all sexual morality out of the whole abortion issue and only had rape and medical issues where people were not able to believe God for healing and they were scared and didn't know what to do about a baby. If you just left rape and that, or if it was going to kill the mom or something, if you left just those simple things, we wouldn't even have this issue, would we? There would be.